Hello, it's Andy Graham of hoboontheroad.com, or maybe Digital Nomad Traveler. I'm in West Africa right now. I'm very angry at Techies, and I want to explain to why. If you know, right now Google Reader just was, I guess, put on the shelf, and they're getting rid of it. I want to explain to you why I get angry at Techies and why in a lot of ways they're my enemies. In a way, what's bad is I'm a techie. I have a large travel website. I've made my money by putting things on the internet for the last 13 years. So in a way, it's thing. But really, why am I angry at Techies? Let me explain. Right now I have a wall here which is kind of a priorities wall. So what I got here is my techie Andrew that works with me, a partner, making sure I don't forget that he's now a husband and got a wife. Here's my videos I'm supposed to be making. Here's some receipts. This is the receipts for the hotel I'm in. This is things I gotta buy, postcard, and of course the word amorphous, which I don't want to forget. I talked about that in a very, very low-tech way of doing things. Now, contrary to what you think, I have, I keep in my pocket, I gotta get these things. I keep in my pocket a piece of paper. I used to be, this is a system I developed over 25 years ago. I put index cards in it, and I only put one thought in each pocket. Okay, but I'm really angry at Google for a lot of reasons, but this is a simple system. I had a pen and a paper, and then why? Here I am. I have databases. I have SQL databases on the internet. We have 2 dedicated servers. We got massive amounts of energy. I pay $500 a month just to pay for the servers. We have 2 servers, and you would think with all that technology, I got a computer sitting here. I've had smartphones, I've had HTCs, I've had all these things. You would think that I would only be using computers, okay? But the truth is, I use paper a lot. Okay, I'm going to stop this so I can set up the video so I can sit down in the chair. Google, you're not my boss. My life is not your techie toy. You don't have the right to play with my life. You're a barbarian. Techies are barbarians. And now I want to go into a video trying to explain my reason why they're barbarians. Okay. I don't spend a lot of time sitting here trying to make all this world make sense, but I want to explain to you my life and my biggest fear in my life. Ever since I was a kid, people made fun of me, okay, because, I don't know, I was one of those nerds, right? I was a guy that always was a know-it-all. My first memory of pain was actually severe pain, emotional pain, was when my neighbor made fun of me because he said, "You're a know-it-all." I went into an abyss for about the next 6 years trying to hide the fact that, maybe 6 years, probably about 10 years, because I knew a lot of data, and I knew a lot of facts. I was like a trivia guy, whatever. It didn't really matter. But the point is that for me, knowledge has always been enjoyable. I'm a person who enjoys thinking. That is how I entertain myself. One of the reasons why I travel, I'm a world traveler, I've been traveling for 15 years, is because I need 2 different things. To do what I enjoy most, I need time and I need money. Okay, well, by accident or whatever, I learned that the amount of money it took to live abroad was like 1/10 of what it takes to live in America. And I also don't need all this extra information that's going on that's crazy. I need new information all the time, so the world gives me new information. But I can travel. I have unlimited time to sit and do what I enjoy doing, thinking. And then I also have the money because I only need 1/10 of it. So I can live here in Togo, West Africa. Contrary to what you think, travel is not the most expensive thing on the planet. That's absolutely wrong. Travel is one of the cheapest things on the planet, unless you go on vacation and get suckered in by some big tour company. I can live here for $20 a day, have a private room, have all the time in the world, work 3 hours a day. Tim Ferriss he's over, anybody that's in America talking about travel or organizational skills and stuff really doesn't love travel. They really want to be in America, be in a bigwig. I love travel because I have a lot of time and I have a lot of money. Okay, and what I realized in America is I never could earn enough money to have enough time. So I leveraged it by what I think they may call location arbitrage. So I'm over here with a lot of time to think. But I'm very angry at Google. Why? Because they're a barbarian. Okay, let me explain barbarians. Barbarians are people that destroy cultures. When you come into my house, okay, let's talk about the Chinese. When Marco Polo came into China or whatever, they considered him a barbarian because he did things that culturally was different than them. So, I mean, when you walk in my house and you spit on the floor, that's a barbarian. In America, if I walk into your house, I'm a barbarian because I violate your customs. Okay. I'm a information collector. All my life I've collected information. Hey, pieces of paper. What Tom Clancy one time in a book or something, I think it was him, maybe Clive Cussler, said the most valuable commodity on the planet is information. And what he's meaning is like something like inside trading, right? So if I knew that, that something was going to get FDA approval tomorrow, I could go buy the stock and make billions of dollars, right? If I know when initial public offering is going to happen, if I know E equals MC squared, I can tell you how to make an atomic bomb. Information is the world's most valuable commodity. Now, this is why I say, Google, you're not. My life is not a play toy. Okay, right now, many of you have seen that Google Reader is being abolished. Okay, now Google Reader is a way by which people were reading RSS feeds. And what the world wants and what Microsoft and all these techie organizations want is they want you to become dependent on their system. So Microsoft made a lot of money by embedding Windows into its system. And Windows is brilliant because Windows scales up, and they keep giving you a new way to do the same thing but a little better. Okay, what Google's doing is barbaric. They're destroying my culture of learning. What do? We take information, and what we're told in school is that we're supposed to learn, right? And really, learning is not, it's not possible for my brain to remember every single thing. So what I have to do is have to have a retrieval system. So a really good business guy, what he does is he has a really good retrieval system of information. So a database and things like this, or internet, sounds like a great way of organizing computers. And, but 99% of the people use them for toys. I don't. I don't use computers for toys. I don't use paper just because I like to write on paper. I use it to organize my thoughts. I'm very angry at techies because all through my life, they were making toys. It's like, hey, you're children. You're making toys, you're clever, you make this little toy, you make it work good. And then you destroy the toy, and I'm like going, hey, I was using that toy. Barbarians. My culture, I'm part of a culture of people that want to stay organized. I'm going to stop now so I can regroup, so I can get these papers, because I'm not a genius. And this is my point. I'm not a genius. Woody, a guy in university, told me one time, I forgot what I was talking about. And he said, Andy, the problem is you're a near genius. I don't know if this is true. I don't really care because I like me and I don't need to prove to myself who I am. But I'm angry. All my life, all I could do to prove that I knew what I was talking about, somewhere along my life, I have to bring this all together and prove that I'm not an idiot. A lot of people think I'm an idiot, and I know I'm not an idiot. What I really think of myself is a near genius. Woody said that what a genius does is has very, very organized thoughts, and they put them, they're very, very, very complicated thoughts, and what they do is you have to organize them. Now, a genius is supposedly a person that can keep it all organized. A near genius is a person that loses it. Okay, so what I am is, he said, hey, you forgot what you're talking about because you're a near genius. You're not a genius. And I go, what's that mean? He says, well, you have the same complicated thought, but one of them escapes and you forget what you're talking about. Okay, so my whole life has been an attempt to take this genius and organize it. So the computer, wow, what a great organization. Now, truthfully, I would have been farther ahead in my life a lot of times if I would have just kept using paper where they couldn't have, where nobody had the right to destroy it. Okay, and ever since technology came out, digital technology, I guess, computers and all these things, it's been one cluster, situation normal. I better not cuss on this. Snafu. It's a situation normal, all fucked up. Snafu is a military term. Now I can go boom, boom, boom. I love it. I can get on Wikipedia. I can learn this term. You can go get on Word on the computer and play and learn a term. But what we want to do is we want to remember these things for certain reasons. I want to bring it. I have a personal problem. I want to bring it all together in a way to prove that I'm not an idiot. All my life, people treated me like I didn't know what I was talking about. Now, there's a part of me that goes, hey, I'm arrogant. I know what I'm talking about. But unless I'm presenting it in a beautiful, wonderful format, they don't understand what I'm doing. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bend down and make something soft and beautiful and documentary and beautiful. It's just an intelligent thought is an intelligent thought. It doesn't need a pretty package. And true genius doesn't need wrapped in a thing. What it does need to do is to be brought together into organized, simplified manner. Okay, so all my life I've been trying to prove that I'm not an idiot. And but when you got a very complicated thought, everybody thinks you're an idiot because they don't understand what you're talking about. Therefore, you're an idiot. And so the computer was the ideal situation. But the thing is that some of us are trying to do some serious stuff here. We're not games. Google, my life is not your techie game. You gave me a tool, and then you promised to me that it would be here for the rest of my life, and that I could use this tool to organize knowledge, the world's most valuable commodity. Okay, so what I'm doing, say I'm monitoring all the journals on physics so that I can make the next, I don't know, neutron, cold fusion, physics things so I can create unlimited energy and save the planet. And all of a sudden I'm using Google Reader to monitor all these different journals, and I develop it over a course of 2 or 3 years. And you say, oh, excuse me, we're getting rid of it. And I go, wait a minute. The world's most valuable commodity, my ability to monitor intelligence, then organize it, and then categorize it, and now you just get rid of it. Hey! I was lucky. I didn't use Google. I signed up for Google Reader, but I really don't like RSS feeds, and I don't like to. I'm not a reactive person, and I basically want. That's not true. Everything that I monitor, I want to come in my email box, and I want it right to say no. I want to read it. I don't want to read it. I don't want to have to force myself to go out and read. I look at forcing myself to go out to read as like play. If I really want to research something, I take the topic, I go drill it to death on Wikipedia or some on Encarta encyclopedia I've had. I love these systems. But what happens if I lose my Wikipedia? Hey, I would be very upset. This is a tool that I've learned to depend on. I'm addicted to this source of knowledge because, for one thing, I'm in Cairo, Togo, West Africa, and with the internet, I have all the information of the world at my fingers. I know that somewhere, some place in India, some boy in the backwoods of the world using a USB chip is putting together something that will change the world. And that's the value of these tools. Okay, I'm going to try to regroup because I'm not a genius. And what a near genius does is has a very, very complicated thought. I can't remember what they're talking about. So I'm going to shut this video off so I can read my notes over here and try to regroup. And I'll be right back. These are my notes that I'm trying to read so that I can keep organized. And isn't this what we're supposed to do? Isn't we're supposed to be able to stay organized? Isn't that the whole goal in the retrieval of information? Okay, I'm back. I think I'm organized again. Okay, this is the point. I'm part of a culture of people that wants to stay super organized, that wants our lives to start out with information, and the information that we had in our life grows and grows and grows and scales and scales and scales. What that means is I get very angry when I lose information, when I cannot retrieve information. Books, a library full of books were really nice. I could put them up on the shelf, and basically we could collect this big library, and nothing else, I could go back and retrieve it. I'm going to talk about Barbarian. Barbarian, I'm laughing. I was a little bit afraid. While I was away, it's about 3:30, 4 o'clock. It's about 4:30, I guess. The Islamic prayers are started. Something like that, Islamic prayer. Now, see, this is considered normal here. At 4:30 in the morning, Islamic prayer. People trying to avoid going to prayer. They wake up, they go to prayer, they do these things. This is the culture of Togo, Cairo, Togo, West Africa, where 50% are Islamic, Muslim or whatever, and they go to prayer. That's part of the normal culture. I'm a little worried. Why? Because I have a guard outside my hotel room, and I'm in here talking. Now he's basically monitoring the rooms, making sure that what I'm doing is culturally unacceptable. People don't sit in their room talking to themselves at 4 o'clock in the morning. he's superstitious. He thinks, hey, you know, I'm doing something conniving, I'm doing something. So I'm a barbarian. I'm a barbarian because I violate the local traditions, customs, and whatever. On a simple level, I'm doing something that is not part of the local culture. Reading a book, there's a joke in Africa, if you want to hide something, put it inside a book. That's not true. I mean, this is just a joke, but in a way, it is true. It's half true, it's not true. But what does a barbarian do? A barbarian violates the very culture we do. So like in Thailand, you go touch their head. Hey, you're a barbarian. Hey, don't touch my head. I don't know why. You can't point your foot at them in Thailand. I always tell my Thai girlfriend in pass, hey, you can touch my head. There's traditions and cultures. In America, there's taboos. Like in America, you know, I can't talk to an 18-year-old girl. I'd be considered like, hey, a barbarian. You know, it's like, it's taboos. So in a way, what barbarians do is they violate customs. Okay, Google's a barbarian. In one way, they're saying, hey, we're here to help you organize your world. But then they create a system, then they get rid of it. Okay, they basically destroyed a whole, I mean, luckily, I am so grateful I don't trust Google. Okay, I don't trust any techie. I don't trust even my techie that works for me. I know he's very capable of throwing massive amounts of knowledge out the window. And it's because they're making a toy to play with, and they enjoy the cleverness of the toy. But they don't really understand that the cleverness of the toy is for us intellectual types to be used to have information, then retrieve information. So, you know, here you have this guy studying fusion. He's monitoring it. Now his whole system is thrown out the window. Now, if he doesn't really care, then he really wasn't, he was just reading for the fun of it. Now, which is a great use for Google Reader because they just proved it. Hey, it was just for fun. It wasn't really a business application. It really wasn't a way to monitor fusion-generated journals. It was really just a complicated toy for a bunch of techies to prove that they could do this. And when it became financially, this is where I really get it. When it becomes financially to their benefit to get rid of it, they do. Okay, so you know, hey, I'm not your toy. You don't play with my knowledge. If you're really an intellectual, you create a system that is forever, that goes on, is scalable. I'm going to show you a bunch of, in the last, I've been on the internet for almost 15 years. And I want to show you, I want to talk about how things changed in those 15 years. And as if you're going to be a digital nomad, this is not a game. Now, what happens is you'll see people that really, they're just making a wonderful presentation. And like, I'm always laughing when digital nomads, I watched something where these guys were at a TED Talk, and this guy sits at Seattle or something talking to this thing, and he talks about his lifestyle experiment. And you know, and rightly so, it was a good talk, and he had a good point, but the thing was is that if your life was so good traveling, why the hell are you in Seattle? How would you ever get in Seattle? I mean, unless somebody's paying me $5,000 to come there. I'm here because this is where I want to be. Okay, but basically there's all these games being played. But over the course of the last 10, 15 years since I started on the internet, I've been screwed by tech so many times that I don't trust them. Okay, first of all, I wanted to get an email address, and you know, these things used to cost you money. So AOL, hey, AOL, what a great screwer. AOL says, stay in our little system, we'll give you this scalable thing. Well, when I left the United States, accessing AOL and dial-up didn't work. So, oops, I had to get rid of AOL. Oh, so here I am, a scalable system that wasn't scalable. There was no way to communicate and continue to do it. Now, they fixed it along the line, but it was already too late. They lost me. So what did I do? I wanted free email. Well, at first they started making us pay for this, right? And so I went to American Express. Hey, traveler. They gave me a thing called USA.net. In about 5 years, they say, hey, we're getting rid of it. I go, wait a minute. This is how I communicate. Now you're getting rid of it. Well, excuse us. Boo, 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 excuse us. So USA, I think they want to start changing. Okay, I switched to Yahoo Mail. Yahoo's been with me. Now, it's very scary. What happens if Yahoo gets bought by Google, whatever? Hey, they just get rid of my email. I have emails sitting on somebody's desk. My mother sat in the hospital. And my grandmother was dying. And got on the computer at the hospital and wrote me an email to say Grandmother Fleck was dying. And she had the email in her hand because that's the only way she had to communicate with her son. They're going to just throw that away? Hey, that's scary, right? Okay. Database backups. I paid over $2,000 to have all my in business really is taking a list of the best way to succeed in business is to make a database, index cards, and what you do is you collect every single person that you knew in your life and just keep working with these people all your life, and in a amorphous serendipitous way, these people are going to come together again and again and again to help you to do good. So I paid a girl in my office in the real estate business in America to take all my index cards and put them into a database. We use Microsoft Works as a database. Hey, somewhere along the line they decided Microsoft Works was not so good, but they still have it. I could still use it. I love Microsoft Works database. But, so I paid $2,000 to enter this information. Very scary. I had like 7,000 people in my database. And you sit there and you go, wait a minute, this is on a computer. If I drop that computer, I lose everything. It's scary, right? So what we start doing is we start putting this information in different places. So we back it up here, we back it up there, we back it up there. Okay. I still have that database and I've been able to retrieve it. After almost 15 years, I call it subject. I don't know why I call it subject. It has no clear ways, but it's a database that's evolved, and now I have it in comma separated values, and I have it backed up in 4 different ways. I send it to Yahoo, put it in my thing. I actually have it on I have all these redundant systems, and that's the value of this technology, is that you can do it. But let me tell you the first time I got screwed when I was traveling. I had a computer problem, and I went into a computer store in the United States, and I had over 100 megs. Well, can you imagine that? 100 megs. That was when 100 megs was a lot of things. And I didn't have any way to back it up. I said, can you put this on a zip drive? So what the guy had to do is he had to format my computer. I says, can you take this folder and put it all in a zip file? It was like the countries of Mexico, Guatemala, things, all these countries that I had traveled through. It was all the photos from these places. And I was really quite upset because the guy didn't back it up. And I lost over 100 megs of photos that I'd put on the computer that'll never be retrieved again. And this was my first screwed by a techie. Because he considered what he was doing valuable, but he didn't consider the information on the computer valuable. I mean, I don't care anything about the computer. I only care about the information on the computer. So I got screwed. I lost 100 megs of photos. Okay, the next thing was they had this system called Zoom.com. It's now a different company. Oh, amazing. Zoom.com allowed me to have unlimited storage of stuff. So I put all these photos on there. And guess what? Zoom got bought out by NBC.com or something like that. And they say, hey, you have like 2 days to get rid of this stuff, or I don't know. Maybe they gave me a week, maybe they gave me 2 weeks. The point was I had no place to put it, right? So I lose another, I don't know, 300 megs of data. No, they're screwing. Just the other day, I collect movies, so I put them onto this hard drive. I have three of these hard drives, and guess what? The hard drives break. But let's go back. Somewhere along the line, somebody said, put all your things on CD-ROMs, right? And DVDs, forget it. I did all this. I put all my photos on DVDs. I carried them home, and I found out that they didn't copyright. Hey, there's blanks. Okay, so you're sitting there going over and over. Technology keeps screwing me because they say we can trust you, but we can't trust you. So digital photos, digital backups, whether you got your photos on Flickr or something like that. You think you guys can trust these guys? If it becomes, the financial model becomes unstable, they'll just drop you in like a thing. They're basically play toys, and they're not taking the information as being the most valuable thing on the planet. And this is where I want you to always keep going. Google, I'm not your play toy. You're a barbarian. You will destroy my culture. My culture is the attainment of knowledge and the retrieval of knowledge and the evolutionary process and control of my knowledge so that it ever grows ever bigger. You destroy my genius because I'm not genius. I have to have a way to retrieve it. Then you create a system, then you just change it because, hey, it just wasn't part of the thing. And the thing was, is that I think they was making money. They just got rid of it. This is crazy. Okay, so the 3.5 disc was cool, but they break. You know, they rust. So we come up with all these retrieval systems. Even on my own site, we have every single thing that I've ever done in really the last 13 years of being a website, and it's not organized. Now the thing is, you know, it's my own company, and even in my own company we destroy information. Why? Because one person doesn't see it as valuable and another person does. Okay, I changed the word the other day from travel blog to travel articles, or top travel articles. And we have to do this because we need to make money, but I switched the way I'm doing stuff. Okay? Now, hopefully, the idea is that what we do is better. But is it? Okay, and this is the problem. If you're collecting information, and your culture is collecting information, then we're giving you information in a way that's retrievable. What I'm trying to say is, don't ever trust a techie. Don't trust me, don't trust anybody. You have to manage your own data yourself. And when one of these companies like MySpace or Facebook, Facebook's trying to create a timeline of my life, and I was really angry because they put my birth date on the website. I don't know how. I mean, the last thing that you should ever be able to do is put together all this information about my family because you could steal my identity. I don't do it. Okay? It's idiocy. You don't trust a techie. You don't allow them to put together your dog's name, your cat's name, your pet's name, everything that they need to have to hack your life and steal your identity. I'm always saying I'm going to steal Krukenberg's identity because if, you know, take the top 10 guys at Facebook and steal their identity by collecting it off of Facebook and then hacking into their bank account, taking their billions of dollars. Techies don't care anything about you. And Google's a barbarian. The biggest barbarian fact is that the most valuable thing that we do is collect information. And then if you're a person like a college professor and you collected this stuff over a course of years and you lose it because this organization decides to change their model, you're in trouble. And this is where these companies are abusing people, and in the sake of trying to say they're helping you, they're really trying to hurt you. Okay, they're trying to get you to become dependent upon their system, and then they don't scale. Okay, just the other day, we're having to change servers. We have the best possible problem. We're growing, so we need more space on our servers. The company I'm with says we used a system where we had root access and configurations, and we can do it. And we developed with them over 8 years. And after 8 years, they say, hey, we won't allow you to do this again on the next server. And I go, hey, we've gone back and forth. Basically, the techie puts me into a dead end. And I go, hey, I hate you. Please, give me a scalable solution. But that was never their goal. Their goal was never to let us grow with them. Their goal was to just make money. And this is where everybody is. Never trust anybody. If you're part of the culture that collects information, like me, why do I travel? Again, why do I travel? Because I need to collect. What I do in my life is I collect information, which takes a lot of time and a lot of money. I never could earn enough money. I tried in America. No amount of money would buy me enough time to do what I really want to do, is basically collect information, organize it, and retrieve it, then basically put it all together in a package and present it. Because I like to take very, very complicated ideas and bring them together. And one day I will bring these all together and write a few books, bring them things, and this is what my passion is. I bring it all together. It's all going to come together into a package. So I needed time, which travel is so cheap, okay? And I also get rid of all the crazy competition, so I don't have to listen to everybody trying to get me to do all these crazy things that have nothing to do with what I want to do. Okay, so I have all the time in the world and I have all the money in the world, because my life is 10 times cheaper traveling than it is in America. And I have what I want. But, okay, so this is a very long video, I'm sorry. But if you're part of the culture that doesn't like barbarians destroying knowledge that's been collected over thousands of years, thousands of days, my whole life for the last, I'm 57 years old, since I was age 18 I started collecting information, and I want to keep this information. I don't keep it because I'm in love with it. I keep it because I'm going to use it. I'm using it. It's a story of my life, and what I'm working on this project is not a game. My life is not a toy. Information is valuable. If you can collect all the people that you ever met in your life together and retrieve them, you will find that one of these people, I think of Debbie Mosta in university. I lost her. Now Facebook's been putting back together some of these people, but there's people in my life that I wanted to contact, and because I can't contact them, there was a real brilliant guy, Mike, in my philosophy class in university. I always try to figure out how to do it. Steve Alfader, one of my best friends in university, I can't keep in contact with. These people are serendipitously brought together in your life to assist you as your friend. You create a relationship, and then you can do it. Now, I don't care about random relationships. They're entertaining, but my life isn't a toy. I don't get on Facebook and talk to strange people. I talk to strange girls. Hey, different thing. My goal is to, meet the mate and marry and live happily ever after. That's a different goal. But some ding-a-ling in Iraq wants to talk to me about he wants me to be his best friend, and his pitch is, hey, I'm a nice guy. I go, that's nice. But if his pitch was, hey, this guy in Nothing Goo said, hey, I'm a geography major. Wow. He pitched me. That was his pitch. I said, hey, I definitely study geography a lot. I mean, travel, a map. Come on, everything's about geography. I love geography, the reading a map. But then he decides he wants me to invest in his business. And I go, whoa. Brought me in on the pitch. Then he turned me around. Google's pitching you. Techies are pitching you. Don't buy it. Back up your life. Try to find a way to make it indestructible. I was a partner, 15% owner in a hosting company one time, and I backed out of it because okay, what you had is thousands of hours of people putting information on a computer, and okay, so they took it and put it on the hosting company, took it, and then they put it on a hard disk, like a tape backup, and then every day they would back it up. So they backed up their hard drive on a tape. This is the old system. And now they have more like mirrors and stuff like that. And I said, wait a minute, we're in a building in Roanoke, Indiana. I says, if this building burns down, thousands of hours worth of work by these people is broke. And I go, it won't burn down. I said, but it could. I said, these tape backups need put in a different place. They thought these were techies, a big group of techies. And I said, you don't understand. These people are working their life away to make that website, and you're willing to let it get disappeared. I backed up. I said, I won't be part of anything that doesn't protect the information at which this person's created. And like right now, we have almost a 80 gig website. And it's very scary because backing it up. We have a way of syncing it over to another website, but then the thing breaks the rules, says you can't do that. The information's much more valuable than the computer. If you can drop your computer and it destroys, and it's not, you didn't lose more time than the computer. You really have nothing. Your computer's just a play toy. And that's what 95% of the people are using their computer for, is just a play toy. If you drop your computer, boom, and it doesn't bother you because you just buy a new computer, your computer is a play toy. But there's a culture like me that believes that knowledge is the most important thing on the planet. That basically all the answers to our world lie in our ability to collect knowledge, use it effectively, and change the world. Google, getting rid of Google Reader, which I know many of my friends were using, is barbaric. You're destroying a culture. You're barbaric, Google. I'm angry at techies. They've all proved that basically that they have no respect for knowledge. They create a system for knowledge and they don't use it. Obviously, that as far as intellectuals go, that's just asinine. I think anybody that would create a system to manage knowledge and then just destroy it is a barbarian. Andy Graham, hobo traveler in Kara, Togo, West Africa, trying not to violate the cultures here so that they think I'm the barbarian. I'm actually, strange as you think, a barbarian is a person that goes and violates the culture. This is what Google is doing to me. They're violating my collection of knowledge, the culture of education. Bye-bye.